Hey there, Leo the Lion. Here's your weekly horoscope for March 14 to March 20th. If you checked out what I wrote for Leo for the month of March, and in the last couple weeks with some of the videos I've been doing for Leo, you may feel that I have been a little bit harsh or a little bit critical. But my goal for all signs is to try to bring you to healing, to try to bring you to knowledge, and perhaps to tell you about some of the planetary cycles and activities I see that can be helpful to you. But you know, you are a fixed sign like Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio, and all you fixed signs are kind of stubborn. But being the only fixed fire sign, Leo, sometimes you kind of burn your own backside with some of your own behavior. You usually do know yourself and understand yourself very well, but sometimes you just don't want to see yourself in a realistic light. But I'll tell you, that's going to change because this week we've got the Sun, your ruling planet, conjunct Venus all week. So in regards to feelings, your feeling nature, and Venus represents your relationships with family, children, your spouse, there is good news in that this aspect helps you resolve some issues with people in your life. If you've had some ongoing conflicts, of course, as I suspect some of you have had because of other aspects going on like that Saturn-Uranus square, I do think at least this week you begin to see some positive resolution. Now, with the new moon that occurred yesterday, referring to Saturday when there was a new moon in Pisces, that new moon isn't really in the best place in your zodiac. It's kind of stuck in the 8th house of the zodiac for your solar chart. That's not the best place for it, to be honest. The 8th house planets there kind of get squeezed and hidden, and they have no outlet, so to speak. So if you haven't had a really good outlet for your emotions, it kind of comes to a head on this Saturday past on the 13th, as I'm saying. But it also is the beginning of a new cycle for you with the new moon, because every new moon is, as it sounds, it's a new moon cycle. So it's not necessarily the best aspect for you, at least on March 13th it wasn't. But as we move into this week and talk about what's going on now, there is a lot of opportunity for you to move forward. First of all, the moon starts out in the sign of Aries at the beginning of the week, and the sun ends up in Aries at the end of this week. So Aries is the sign that's really positive for you. It's another fire sign like Sagittarius and yourself. So it enables you to, well, even create a new start. A new moon is an indicator of a period when it's good for a new start. And these planets, as we get out of Pisces season and more into Aries season, they are opportunities for you to have some new beginnings. Now, the Saturn and the Jupiter that have been in Aquarius, and Mercury as well was in Aquarius, at least until the middle of this week, it does put the planets are in kind of opposition to your sign, and in an opposition there can be a conflict, but the role of the opposition in a horoscope is to provide an opportunity to meet halfway, to provide a bridge, and to, meet halfway is a good term to use for any sign that are in axis to one another or opposite one another, as Leo and Aquarius is. So let me put it this way, Leo. If you're willing to meet people halfway, you can have a great week ahead and you can begin to resolve some issues. But if you haven't been, or you refuse to meet people halfway, and as Leo sometimes will do, demand to have it always your way, you're going to run into some trouble. So keep that in mind, that for all relationships, all signs, meeting people halfway and creating compromises, that's the way to go. But again, if you insist on always having it your way without taking into account the feelings or the needs of other people, this is going to be a rough week for you. Now, having said that, we do have Mars and Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius, so your activities this week may be more conducive to you resolving some issues and for you to creating some more positive present and future for yourself. Not all Leos have been going through trouble. Some have been just kind of neutral. It depends, of course, where in Leo you may be born. But we'll use a famous Leo, for example, Meghan Markle, who I only found out was a Leo this week. But certainly she felt a need to speak her truth last week, and boy, did that create a lot of news in the media, didn't it? And of course, there's two sides to every story, as people will point out. But the point is, at least she spoke up. And that's a good thing, I think. It, for good or for bad, for her family situation, and for the UK Royals, it started a conversation. So Leo, by all means speak up, but be careful not to say too much as well, because sometimes, like all the fire signs, you can get a little hot-headed. The Saturn-Uranus square is a little bit tough on you, and it's going to be there off and on all year. You know, none of the fixed signs like to change, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and they resist it. But other signs, Aquarius and some other signs, and even Leo, you can recognize sometimes when it is the need for change. One of the issues, though, is just that fixed signs need to be in control. And when you can't be in control, oh boy, like anything else or anyone else, the negative side of these qualities can come about. So there is a Pluto moon square going on Monday, and that may bring up some issues for you. There is the Venus-Neptune conjunction going on still until Tuesday, and that could be when some feelings and emotions kind of get muddied up. You're not sure what people are saying. You're not sure what you're saying even. So clarity may not be so great in the early part of the week. But I think as we get more towards the later part of the week, when the sun moves into Aries and when the moon even moves into Gemini, that's better for you by the end of the week. And as well, Mercury will be leaving Aquarius and going into the sign of Pisces. I think that these shifts this week, at least I think, will bring you some clarity. So I certainly hope so, and good luck to you.